Reading Myanmar Tones. Myanmar is a tonal language. You've probably heard that, and when you did, it probably made you very afraid. You've heard of languages like Chinese that are tonal and make it very difficult to pronounce. But don't worry. The tones are really not that difficult. And there aren't that many to learn. So here's what helped me to think about learning a tonal language. Actually, when you think about it, the English language is a bit tonal. We don't call it that, but it is important to know where to put the proper emphasis. Let's take these two words. They're very closely related. But now let's suppose you took the word theocracy and you tried to apply that same pronunciation to that second word. It would be pronounced theocratic. And that's not right. Let's reverse it. Let's take the second word, theocratic, and you tried to pronounce the first word that way. It would be theocracy. So, you really have to learn which syllable to put the emphasis on, and there is nothing in the written word that tells you how to do that. You just have to learn it. So that kind of made it a little bit easier for me to think about trying to learn a tonal language. Basically, there are only 4 tones in the Myanmar language: a low tone, a high tone, a Kriegie tone, and a stop tone. So let's discuss each of these. We'll give a brief description. Don't worry about trying to remember all of these. We just want to give you an overview. And as you begin learning how to pronounce vowels, you begin adding words to your vocabulary, some of this will begin to make more sense. You may want to come back and revisit this particular lesson. So let's start with the easiest of the tones. It is the low tone. It's almost an absence of tone. Its pronunciation is described as a long, level tone that may or may not rise or fall at the end. Many syllables, many words are composed completely of low tones. In the Burmese language, there is no symbol associated with this tone, and in its Romanized form, there is no special mark added. Next, the high tone is described as a long tone that usually falls from high to low pitch. Now, what helped me in thinking about this high tone was to think in terms of English, a syllable that received the emphasis or the accent. In the Burmese script, a symbol is placed to the right of a syllable. It is this symbol. It kind of looks like a colon mark. In this example, the syllable, or in this case it's really a word, is pronounced poo. Poo. Notice the tone falls from high to low pitch. Now that's the only symbol that you're going to see that tells you when something is pronounced with a high tone. However, there are some other cases in which you're going to use a high tone because it is used with some vowels automatically. Let's consider the first case. This is actually a vowel symbol that appears directly above a consonant, and whenever you see it, a high tone is used to pronounce it. So in this case, the word is le, le. The second example uses what we call a vowel combination. These are 2 different vowels added together by surrounding this one consonant, and it's pronounced with a high tone, haw, haw. Its Romanized form appears the same whether it's in the language app or in the dictionary. It is marked by a colon that follows the syllable. Now, the Kriegie tone is almost the exact opposite of the high tone because it is pronounced as a short falling tone that ends abruptly. It ends very quickly, as you'll see as we cover that. The symbol that's used in the Burmese script is what appears to be a period with a hole in it and is placed directly beneath a vowel or a consonant. Now here's two different examples of that. The first, it's placed directly beneath this vowel. This too is a vowel combination, but it's placed directly beneath the vowel following the consonant. In the second example, it's not directly beneath this consonant-vowel combination, but it's placed just to the right, obviously to make room for that second symbol that appears directly beneath it. So in the first case, the word is pronounced thaw, thaw. The second is po, po. Now once again, this is the only symbol for a Kriegie tone. However, certain vowels also automatically use a Kriegie tone. The two examples here, the first is pronounced ti, ti. The second, su, su. Its romanized form in the language app, a period directly follows the vowel or consonant. And in the dictionary, a period is also used, but it appears directly below the vowel or consonant that is pronounced with a Kriegie tone. Now the stop tone is somewhat similar to that Kriegie tone because it too ends very abruptly. It's described as a very short high tone, ending very abruptly. Now, there is no symbol for the stop tone because it almost always applies to certain vowel combinations. And what you see here is a vowel combination. There is only one consonant in all of these symbols. The rest of those four symbols are a vowel combination. I know that looks complicated, but you're going to learn it one step at a time. It's not that difficult. It's just a matter of learning your symbols. So this particular vowel combination, when applied with this consonant, has the sound light, light. See, it too ends very abruptly. Now, the language app romanizes this by adding the letter Q at the end of the vowel sound. So in this case, it kind of had the sound of an AI that was very short. So think about the way you would describe it with a Q at the end. It would be like. Well, just don't pronounce that Q at the end. It is silent. Light. The dictionary merely uses an apostrophe at the end of the vowel combination. Okay, now here is an exercise that's going to be very helpful for you to learn how to pronounce your tones. The three particularly that we discussed at first. In the first column, we notice these are all just consonants. But remember when we learned our alphabet? Remember we applied a short A sound to them as we learned them? So for instance, the first one we pronounced as ga. Well, guess what? That's the Kriegie tone, so you've already learned that one. You didn't even know it. The second column is one in which a vowel symbol, which has two different forms, a vowel symbol is added to the same consonant, and it has the sound of an ah, very similar to the Kriegie tone. But in this case, it is a low tone, so this middle column is the low tone. The column on the right then is the high tone, easy to identify because it has the symbol for the high tone. So again, that would be pronounced ga. So here's the exercise that school children in Myanmar go through. As they recite their alphabet, they say the consonants using these three tones. It would sound something like this. Ga, 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 ka, 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 ga, ga, ga. By practicing your consonants using these 3 tones, it's particularly going to help you be able to differentiate between the creaky tone and the high tone. It's a good exercise. Put it to use. And that does it for tones.